What if the pain you carry isn't punishment, but a signal? What if every fear, every regret, every ache in your soul is pointing to one truth you've been trained to ignore? That you've abandoned the only place life truly exists, this moment. The ancients knew it. Mystics across time whispered it. And today, the veil lifts. Suffering begins the moment you resist what is. The mind escapes into memory, clings to a future that doesn't exist, while the real you waits in silence here and now. But the now is not just a concept. It is the hidden dimension where time dissolves, fear evaporates, and the door to your true self swings open. In this transmission from the Codex of Amenti, you will see through the illusion of time, end your war with the present, and reclaim the still infinite power that was never lost, only forgotten. This is not philosophy, this is the key, and the key was always now. The most powerful truth is the one the mind rejects. Life only happens now, yet your thoughts drift endlessly into dead memories or imagined futures. You call it thinking, but in truth, it's exile. This is the trap of psychological time. The ego, your false self, can't survive in the now, so it feeds on time. It chews on regret from the past, it gorges on fear of the future, and in doing so, it starves you of real life. Ancient teachings all pointed here. Zen monks called it beginner's mind, free from story. Christian mystics practiced hezekiah, silence anchored in presence. Eckhart Tolle called it simply the end of time-created suffering. Every time you say, "I'll be happy when," you abandon yourself. In traffic, telling yourself joy waits at home, you've already left life. When you replay old mistakes, spiraling in guilt, your body may be still, but your mind is storming in time. The spell breaks the moment you notice it. When you catch yourself lost in some day, or if only, pause. Feel your breath. Feel your hands. Look around. Right here is the only place suffering dissolves. Even the smallest act can free you. Standing in line. Don't collapse into waiting. Feel the ground. Witness the now. What you thought was boring becomes sacred because you're finally present. Here's the truth. Problems only exist in time. In presence, there are no problems, only situations. You act or you accept. In both cases, suffering ends. Time loses its grip, and in its place, the eternal now reveals itself. What if pain isn't what happens to you, but how you refuse what is? Every wound, every ache, every inner storm begins with a quiet war, resistance. You may not hear it, but inside there's a subtle no. This shouldn't be happening. I don't want this. This needs to change. That quiet no is the seed of all suffering. The traffic jam is neutral. The rain, the illness, the silence, they just are. But the moment your mind declares, this is wrong, you tear yourself from reality and bleed energy into a fight that can never be won. Mystics have always warned us. The Stoics called it amor fati, love of fate. Taoist sages flowed like water, adapting to every path. Hermetic law whispers, what you resist, you reinforce. And Eckhart Tolle brings the truth home. Resistance feeds what you hate. Presence dissolves it. How do you escape? Start with the body. Tension is the language of resistance. Tight jaw, clenched chest, restless thoughts. It's not just stress. It's rejection of the moment. Name it. I am resisting. Then breathe into the feeling. Don't push it away, don't fight it, just let it be. And like smoke, it fades. You spill a drink. Instantly, the mind says, wrong, bad. But look again, there's no problem, only water on a floor. Act from acceptance, and peace remains. Or someone insults you. Resistance screams, he can't say that, but he already did. The insult is over. The only pain now is the one you keep alive by resisting it. Acceptance is not weakness, it is alignment with truth. When you resist, your energy fractures, half pulled into war with what is, half trying to act. But when you accept, you become whole, clear, unshakable, and action flows from power, not panic. This shift changes everything. Life stops feeling like an enemy. Challenges become movement, not punishment. Peace begins to root, even in chaos. Every time you say yes to this moment, you step out of suffering and you step into freedom. If resistance is a silent no to life, then presence begins with a sacred yes. Not a passive yes, not surrender in defeat, but a conscious alignment with reality itself. To say yes to what is power, because you stop leaking energy into fantasy and root your soul in what's real. Eckhart Tolle gave the formula simply: accept first, then act. Because only from acceptance can true action arise. Mystics have echoed this for centuries. The Bhagavad Gita taught, surrender the outcome, act now. Jesus whispered, don't worry about tomorrow, it doesn't exist. The Tao flows not because it forces, but because it yields. So how do you say yes? Start by seeing clearly, strip away the mind's story, and look at what is. If it rains, hear the sound, feel the wetness, don't judge. Don't resist, just witness. If pain arises, say, pain is here. Not why me, not this is wrong, just this is. That simple acknowledgement is your yes. And from there, wisdom moves. If you're cold, you get a blanket. If you're hungry, you eat. But the suffering, that came from resistance, and it dissolves. Understand this. Acceptance isn't giving up, it's showing up fully. Resignation says nothing can be done. Acceptance says this is what is. Now what shall I do? The difference is everything. Imagine you face illness. Resistance says this is wrong. Resignation says there's no hope. But acceptance says this is now. I will heal. I will act. I will align. Try it in small moments. Plans change. Breathe, say yes. Someone interrupts you. Pause, accept, respond. These micro shifts retrain your being to meet life, not reject it. And the reward? Inner freedom. No one can take it. No chaos can shake it. Because your peace no longer depends on control, it lives in your yes. To say yes to the now is to return to the current of life itself, and that current always knows the way. Presence is not a thought. It's not an idea to remember. It's a state you enter with your whole being. The door? It's always right here. Not in rituals, not in knowledge, but in the ordinary moments you usually overlook. Here's how to step through. 1. Conscious breath. Stop. Inhale. Feel it. Cool air in, warm air out. Don't force it, just notice. Every breath is a portal back to now. This is ancient. Yogis called it pranayama, the science of spirit through breath. 2. Inner body sensing. Close your eyes. Feel your hands from within. Don't move, just sense. A quiet vibration, a subtle aliveness. Expand that awareness, arms, chest, whole body. This is presence without thought, pure being. 3. Sacred attention in ordinary acts. Washing dishes? Don't rush. Feel the water, the plate, your breath. Walking stairs, feel each step, the shift of weight, the heartbeat. Turn the mundane into meditation, because presence hides where the mind never looks. 4. The pause between breaths. After inhale, before exhale, there's a still point, a silence, a gap. Rest your attention there. It's a hidden doorway, beyond thought, beyond time. 5. Direct acceptance. Pain, irritation, impatience, don't resist. Feel it. Let it be. Say inwardly, yes, you don't lose power, you reclaim it. Then, if action is needed, it flows from peace, not panic. None of this requires effort, only attention. No special posture, no perfect environment, just the willingness to be here. At first it comes in flashes, brief silences between the noise, but the more you return, the more presence becomes your ground. And one day, you realize, presence was never lost. It was always here, beneath the mind's noise, waiting to be remembered. Here is the final key. In the now, problems don't exist. They can't, because problems are born in time, in the imagined future, in the replayed past. But in presence, there are no stories. Only what is. Only this. Your mind says, I have a problem. But look closer. It really means I'm fearing a future that isn't here, or I'm clinging to a past that no longer exists. Strip away time, and the burden vanishes. You lose your job. Immediately the mind panics. What if I can't survive? What if nothing works out? But stop. What is actually happening? You're sitting, reading, breathing. That's the only truth. The rest is a storm of imagination. And from stillness, you act. Update the resume, make the call, move forward. Not in fear, but in clarity. The same is true with fear itself. Anxiety is the body reacting to a story, but the next time it rises, ask, what is the reality of this moment? Almost always, you're safe, alive, breathing. The catastrophe exists only in thought. The now is untouched. Tolle said it clearly. Suffering is identification with time. Remove time, and suffering collapses. Life will still bring challenge, but presence turns problems into situations. And that shift is freedom. So practice the language of truth. Don't say, I have a problem. Say, I have a situation. A problem feels heavy, endless. A situation is light, clear, actionable. Act if you can, accept if you can't. Either way, the weight lifts. Because in presence, you're not fighting life, you're flowing with it. This is the power of the now. The mind's webs dissolve, and beneath it all, you find a freedom that was never far, a peace that nothing outside you can touch, a stillness that remains even in the storm, and it's here, right now, waiting. Here is the secret, not hidden but overlooked. Life is now. It has always been now. The ancients knew it, the mystics lived it, because here, in the present moment, pain dissolves, problems vanish, and the false self fades. You were never meant to suffer. You were meant to awaken. Every moment you stop resisting what is, every breath you reclaim from the future or the past, you step back into your original power. Not a power of control, but of alignment. Not of force, but of presence. This isn't theory, it's not philosophy, it's the ground beneath your feet, it's the breath you're taking right now. The now is not a stepping stone, it's the destination. It's the source, it's you before the mind divided time. So the invitation is simple, stop waiting, stop running, say yes to this breath, this silence, this moment. Because the path is not somewhere ahead, the path begins where you are, and it begins now. If this transmission spoke to something ancient within you, leave a comment and share. How will you practice presence today? And subscribe so you never miss another key from the Codex.